Speaking of Denton Guyer head coach John Walsh is in studio here with me now to break down the 6A playoffs. Thanks for joining us and congratulations on making the postseason this year. I want to start off, John, with your side of the bracket. All right, 6A Division II. You're going to face this Flower Mound team. They're the Cinderella story in high school football, right? What do you have to do to try and cool off a team like Flower Mound in this first round matchup?
Well, we went and watched them last night against Irvin MacArthur, and I tell you what, the biggest thing you got to stop is their tempo. They go as I've seen a lot of college football, especially Big 12 ball, where they go hurry up, and NASCAR, and they were snapping that thing 9 to 10 seconds between snaps, and if they get in rhythm, man, they're hard to stop. So I think the biggest thing is to get them off their pace and get them off the field offensively.
Like you said, it's hard to do when they're moving so quickly. And there's a red-hot Mansfield Lake Ridge team, of course, waiting for the winner after that game. All right, let's move along to another interesting Division II team. Undefeated Arlington, the first perfect season in 30 years. Man, the Colts are a great story, too. JAHARI Rogers, their quarterback, one of the best dual-threat quarterbacks in the state. I want to know what it's like having a guy like that. You've had some good QBs now.
Yes.
What's that like, having that in your back pocket going into a playoff game?
Well, it's like an incredible insurance policy, knowing that no matter what happens, whatever catastrophe is going to happen, is you can pull that insurance policy out, and that guy's probably going to bail you out and make a big play. And it sounds like Jahari is one of those guys, and the stats don't lie. And your defense relies on a guy like that. Your offense relies on a guy like that, and it ends up being the whole community does, and they deliver.
Jahari's a guy, he's a momentum shifter. I'll tell you that. With one play, he can change a game. All right, moving along to the top half of Division II. Fossil Ridge, who you just saw a few nights ago, they have an interesting matchup with Hebron. Trajan Bridges for Hebron, I think, is one of the best players in North Texas. He plays receiver, wildcat, defense. What's that like to try and prepare for that as an opposing team going into a matchup?
Well, we actually thought we were going to get Hebron. So, you know, as a head coach, I did a little pre-work, and he was going to be a nightmare. He was all over the field. Hebron does a good job of moving them places. And what makes Hebron even scarier is they got a guy named Darius Snow that's got every Big 12 offer, every top 25 offer out there in the country. So Hebron's tough. But I'm going to tell you, Ridge has got a little, you know, they knocked us off the other night, and they got a little edge about them, play great defense. Ought to be a great matchup.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see that defense going against Bridges, too, because like I said, man, and like you said, he is explosive. He is going to be tough to stop. The winner of that game will most likely face Cedar Hill in the second round. That could be a phenomenal matchup, too. All right, moving on to Division I. What are your thoughts on a possible second-round matchup between DeSoto and Southlake Carroll? Man, that is juicy, and you know there'd be a big crowd for that game.
Oh, it's huge. Huge matchup with two top programs in the state of Texas, let alone this region. You know, Riley Dodge over at the Southlake's done a great job his first year out. Really impressed. We went tooth and nail with them, and they found a way to beat us in the very end. So, man, I'd like to be there. Hopefully I'm playing, I get to miss it. But that'd be one for the fans to make sure they get out and see.
Yeah, there's some work to do for both teams before that game, but man, I think high school football fans would love to watch that matchup in round 2. Now, there's another dominant North Texas team that a lot of people are talking about, the Duncanville Panthers. All right, here's my question for you. They haven't been tested all year. Almost every game is like a 5-6 touchdown game. How much does that impact their playoff preparation, in your opinion?
Well, I've been in that situation before at Guyer where your starters don't play hard any fourth quarters, and you worry about, you know, how long do you keep them in to keep that motor running? And then I think finally, as a head coach in a program, you just sit back and say, all right, there's going to be a lot of tread on these tires. We're going to be healthy. And that's the ultimate goal when you get to the tournament and the playoffs, is make sure you got all your guns and all your bullets in your gun.
And not to mention, their defense is phenomenal, too. That can be a good thing to carry with you into a playoff matchup every single time. All right, to Region 2 we go. I think that second-round potential matchup between Allen and Rockwall could be interesting. If Allen's going to get tested, it's probably going to have to be against a team with the offensive weapons like Rockwall. What do you see in that potential second-round matchup?
Yeah, I mean, I've faced Allen 4 years in the last 6 years, and with some really good football teams, and with some really good offensive football teams with Sean Robinson and some guys that he had some good toys to play with out there. But man, that Allen's that's a monster. It's a monster. They play great defense. Coach Campbell does things the right way, sound way. So Rockwall's kind of out of my scope, but Allen's a tough out.
It's going to be interesting to watch. And like I said, Coach Walsh has his Denton Guyer Wildcats in the playoffs. Good luck this season. Thank you for being in studio previewing all the 6A action.